today's session, we will see that how we can create a UI collection view in a UI table view cell, and we can scroll this UI collection view in both ways, horizontal ways or in a vertical ways. So before writing this code, I search in internet and many YouTube videos, but I have not found a single one where we can use this UI collection view to show our data, and we can scroll in a horizontal or in a vertical ways. I know that we actually don't need it, but I have to use in one of my projects, so I thought that to share my knowledge with you. So we will use UI table view and nibs to display the data in a UI table view, and we will use the UI collection view in a UI table view cell and then populate the data in a UI table view cell. So let's dive in. To get started, I have already installed this Xamain Microsoft Visual Studio. I am using this Microsoft Visual Studio, and to create a project I choose single view app and click on the continue button. Here choose sample table app. You can choose the name whatever you want. Now after clicking on the continue button, it will ask you to the location of the project. You can choose where you want to save your project. Now once you will create a project, you can actually see that how your project is looking. Now we will create a data folder into the resource folder, and after creating the project we will create a sample file. We will create a JSON file where we will keep our sample JSON, because to populate the UI table view we will use JSON file, and we will deserialize the JSON and populate our data. So this is the sample JSON I have chosen. Yes, I pasted into this movie JSON file. Now it's time to deserialize the JSON. I have a code to deserialize the JSON. I will upload this code into my GitHub channel. So this is the code that you can see here. I am using this name of the JSON file, and the path you can mention in this data folder path. I have mentioned the path. I am using this JSON convert, so we have to install this Newton JSON soft. Using this Newton soft, we can deserialize our JSON file. Now it's time to create our data model. So for this I search in the Google JSON to C#. I copy this data model and paste it into class. I will create a class file for this model class, because to convert JSON, and so I am not focusing into that how we can convert the JSON file into the item model, but yes, that's the process that how we can create object from the JSON file. So this is the item model that I have used, and it will actually deserialize our JSON into object. So while creating your JSON model, ensure that the properties in your data model matches the structure of the JSON. allowing allowing for seamless mapping. Now you will see I created a data load data from JSON method, and in this, if data is not equals to null, I can use this data model. Now it's now let's bind our UI table view to this data model. So here you can see the data model is being populated. Now it's time for the UI table view. So we will open this storyboard into our Xcode and search for the table view and create some constant for this table view. So then we will create a outlet for this table view. I created this movie table view outlet for this table view, and will connect this outlet to our project. Now if you will see, I am going to this designer code and making this public so that I can access this movie table view into our view controller. Here we will define a source for this table view, and I have defined this main table data source where I am passing this data model. And so I created a class main table data source. So this UI table view, I have inherited this main table data source from UI table view source. Here I am defining a item model, and so rows in section where I will define that how many rows to be display in this table view. Now it's time to create a nib file. We will create a table view cell, and we will create a nib file, and for the UI we will open this nib file into the Xcode, and we can define some label. I define some constant to this label so that it looks better. If you can see, I'm defining some constant. I'm not focusing on that how we can define the constant. Now it's time to create an outlet for this label section. Here actually I am figuring out what should I name. So I choose title for the outlet, and this for this label I choose description. You can give the name whatever you want. Now go to this main table data source. Into the main table data source, I created this property public so that I can access into the main table data source in the get cell method. So this method is dq reusable cell. I am using to actually reuse the movie view cell nib file that I just created. Here in the get cell method, I'm dequeuing this cell, and in the view controller file I will register this nib file. So here I will create a register nibs method. In this register nib method, I will register the nib file. So register nibs for cell reuse is a method that we can use to register our nibs for that particular UI table view. Now we can access the properties of the nibs file. Here we have created two properties, title and description. Now we will fill our properties. So index path dot row is used. Then when we will scroll the table, then it will actually give us the row identity. So now it's time to build our project. Now let's run it. Here is our data model, that is Deserialize. Here you can see the table has been populated with all the rows. So as you can see, we have seen the UI table view and how we can use the nibs file to populate our data. Now it's time for the collection. So we will use collection view in a UI table view cell. So we have created a UI table view cell, and we will place a collection view into the UI table view cell. So I defined some constant for this collection view. Yeah. Collection view is basically we can scroll the collection view either vertically or either horizontally, but in this video I'll guide you that how we can scroll the collection view in two ways, means in a horizontal way or in a vertical way. So here in the table view I am actually defining a header or a heading for every cell. Here we will define a prototype cell. We have incremented to 1 and define a label. Now in our project I will define title for our header. In a main table data source we will define a header. So if you will see our JSON that I use, I'll give you that JSON that I use in this project into my GitHub channel, so you can see. So I have this genres, where this genres I am using to actually display the heading, and so these are properties for the header. Rows in section, I displayed one only. Get height for header, define the height. So here you can see the height now, but yes, all the cells are common. Then we will actually change it later. Now image view, I will place the image view here. So I define some constant to this image view, leading, trailing, top and bottom constants. I define the const outlet publicly. Now it's time to change the movie view cell to our collection view cell. So we will use this collection view cell instead of movie view cell. Here you can see I define this heading now, and in this sections I define the 4 rows in section. So here you can see the 4 rows. Now I have defined a property movie category list, because what I want all the movies of the comedy section, all the movies for the fiction section. So I want to categorize all the movies like this way. So I defined a properties here in an item model, that is movie category list. So to actually find the movies based on the genres, I use some logic where I am filling this property. Here I am using a sample one, and that how we can actually display the data in a UI collection view to scroll horizontally and vertically. You can use your own data. Now if you will see the data that I have this list, and in the list, in the comedy one, I will have all the movies that text to comedy. So here I'm finding that why it is not displaying. Now I figured out, because of public and private property I missed my movies list. Here you can see I have movies as a null, and I change this movie list. Movie list is a private, so I change this to public. Now if you will see, I have movie list as a 36 movies has been filled. So I have my data that I have to show into the collection view. Now I'm using this property that I just created, category movie list, to display my header section and my all the data into this table view. I'm just simplifying this property. Now let's run this project. So here you can see all the data has been displayed under the category 1. Now it's time to use the UI collection view, because I have to scroll more to see all the records. So we will use the UI collection view. We have created a collection view cell for this. We have this collection ready. So we will register this collection view cell here in our view controller, and we'll use this collection view cell in our main table data source. I define this outlet as a public so that I can use in this main data table source. So for collection view, we create a collection view cell for collection view item. So I created a movie collection view cell nib, and I register this nib for our collection view in our main table data source. Now we will define a data source for this collection view, and for this data source I'll create a collection view data source and pass the items to this collection view data source. So I created a class collection view data source which is inheriting from UI collection view data source. So I created a constructor for this, and now define a private property for this item. So I created a list for movie category list. In the get item count, I will mention the movie list count. So this is our movie collection nib. For our UI collection view, I will mention some UI element here. So I create a label image and define some constant for this label and image. You can define the UI structure as you want. So I am defining the width and height for this image. So now it's time to create an outlet for this label and image view. So I will use this movie collection view cell. I'll use the same structure to populate our data we have seen in UITableViewCell. Now I'll use the same one in collection view data source. Number of section is the rows. I have hard coded it because so here you can see the number of section is 5. But the data is not populated in a right way, so I have actually passed the wrong data. So we will pass the movie list into our collection view data source, and we will repopulate our data. Now let's run our project here. There are no data, I think. Let's figure out why there is no data. We are only displaying the heading because we have commented this data source property in the main table data source file. So if you will see in the collection view data source, we have mentioned the row count. So we will define only one because we have only one collection view cell now. So now heading is in the correct way. Now in the collection view data source, we have our headings and our movie data also. But now it's time to display our collection view cell in a correct way. So we will use this image, and so here are two ways, UI collection view flow layout or UI collection view collection layout. I use UI collection view layout. UI collection view flow layout is used where you want in one direction, either in horizontally or in vertically. If you want in both direction, then you have to use UI collection view layout. I use UI collection view layout to display it in both ways. So here if you will see, it's moving in a horizontally. Now I will show you that how we can show it in horizontally or vertically. So this is the code, this is the sample code. I use the basic one. Now if you will see, the data is, you can scroll in both ways. Here is the size of a particular cell, height or width. I have mentioned 200 height and width for every collection view cell. I'm just arranging in a better way so that it looks better. I will use a view here and place the title and image into that view so it looks great in our collection view. I define some constant for the view and some constant for the label and the image. Now let's run the project. Now you can see these are in a better format. You can see the image also, and we can scroll our collection view in a horizontal or vertical way. Now if you will actually increase the height of collection view cell, you can see all the collection views in, you can scroll it horizontally. Because I have created my own data, and I actually defined in this session that how we can scroll the collection view either in a collection view in a both ways, horizontally or in a vertically. So I defined some logic to display this data. So I mentioned a row count variable, and based on the row count I'm fetching a particular method. But if you have a JSON in a 2D format where you are having a multiple child of a item, then you can use a 2D format collection view cell. I'll just decrease the height of this collection view cell. So here if you will see, get item count is 7 and number of section is 5. Number of section is the row and get item count is the 7, is basically the column 1. I have hard coded it, but you can mention and define in your way. So if you will see every collection view in a particular heading, you can scroll it either in horizontal way or in a vertical way. So that's it for now. Thank you guys, and keep watching my channel. Bye.